Hello and welcome to gskptv, also known as Georgia Sunflower, Kansas Peach on YouTube. Today is February 5. No, not February, March. You guys, this time has been flying by. March 5th, Thursday, 2026. Okay. I think I got it. Oh my goodness. Anyway, hello to all my peach trees and sunflower seeds. It's so good to see you. Um, Cold, misty, rainy day. Well, not so much cold. We got up to 64, 65, I believe, today. Kind of cold, misty, overcast. I want to talk about, we're going to talk about Taye Diggs and what he wore to the NAACP Image Awards. For some reason, it has brought up a lot of, I don't know, so much controversy, but people are talking about it. So, since we grown and sexy over here, I thought we would talk about Taye Diggs and what he's worn to the NAACP Image Awards. You guys come back and we will get to the matters at hand. Again, hello and welcome back to gskptv, also known as Georgia Sunflower, Kansas Peach, where we do reviews on movie, TV, books, life, things of that nature, where we can talk. I can talk to you, you talk to me, you teach me, I teach you, and we learn together. Again, March 6th, 2025. 26. Oh my gosh, I can't get it right, guys, for nothing in the world. March 5th, 2026. Okay. We are talking Taye Diggs and what he wore to the NAACP Image Awards. For some reason, this has gained a lot of traction. Now, as you know, in the last couple of years, last few years or so, men, American men, are wearing what we consider. Now, wait a minute. Let me start this again. Let me say heterosexual men are becoming much more open and comfortable with what we consider dress wear, skirts for women. My question, of course, is how do you feel about it? And what do you think? How would you feel if your male partner, husband, cousin, friend, nephew, boyfriend, whoever male that you know considers themselves heterosexual, if they wore what we as Americans consider female dress wear, in other words, a skirt, how would you feel about it? Now, while we're considering this, in other countries, men wear what most in this country would consider a skirt. Okay? Because, like, Men in Scotland, they wear kilts. In South Asia, they wear what's called a sarong. Um, in India, South Asia, it's called a lungi. Um, in Greece, it's a fustanella. In Japan, it's called a hakama. In Fuji, Sulu, spelled Sulu, Sulu. I'm probably not pronouncing it right. And please forgive me if I'm not. I mean, no disrespect to any of these countries. I'm learning just as everyone else is learning. And again, I mean, no disrespect whatsoever. Okay. And we have Gao or Gho. They wear a Bhutan, spelled Bhutan. And we've seen them. And we've seen them. Like, if you've ever seen the movie The King and I, he wears them. And we loved, I know, I loved The King and I, because the King was and always will be my boyfriend. Lord, Yul Brynner, oh my gosh. Ooh, I was so in love with me some Yul Brynner. Hunty child. Loved that man. Okay. I really was in mourning when he passed. Let me stop being silly, but oh my, I just loved. Oh, I loved Yul Brynner. But he was a man that wore sarongs and things of that nature. You know, in African cultures, the men wear something that looks for American people and the European way of life or whatever. And then even at that, especially like in the colonial days, a lot of those men wore some of the fashions back in those days were very much what we consider a skirt. Now, do you think that this is feminizing, especially the African American sect? That's SECT. Or is this feminizing the male sex? SEX period. Or do we as a nation need to stop being so tight yet so vulgar at the same time? Or should I say uptight and yet so vulgar at the same time? Think about it. Other countries, their male counterparts wear what we consider skirts for females. They have no qualms, no, and that dress is part of their history. That's not something that just started for them. Again, the sarongs and the African men, I can't remember what they call African dress for men. Um, Asian. All other men, sarongs, all other men in other countries wear something that is similar to a skirt, and there is no problems, no weird thoughts about it. America is the only country that has a weird thought about a man wearing what looks like a skirt. Again, how do you feel about that? Now, I'm going to be honest. Okay? For me, I'm uncomfortable. I don't like it. I think I would accept it more if it was already part of the American tradition. Okay. Um, because when the men in America's put on that sort of dress, it has no historical, um, no cultural, there's just no attachment to it other than women when it comes to that stuff. Does it look bad on him and all that? Well, no, I guess not. I mean, what he has on is something I would wear. And I'm all woman. Again, it don't look bad on him. I mean, it's not like he's looking silly. It's just the idea, I think, for most of us, because we do not live in a culture where men normally are dressed this way. Sorry, I gotta put my favorite pencil up. My favorite pen. I love her. I've had her for a long time. But anyway, um, I think our problem, because again, if someone from another country, and they do, the Arabian men, they have on this long, that looks like a daishiki. There we go. For African men, daishikis and things of that nature, and they look like dresses. They look like house dresses. And we don't have a problem with other countries wearing this sort of dress or clothing. For us as a people, we think it's a dress. Other nationalities, it's attached to their culture, their heritage, their way of life, their whole being. That is how they dress. And there is no stigmas behind it whatsoever. But for American men and women, men in skirts and dresses is absolutely no. And then, too, those men in other countries are not wearing a dress. They are wearing what is culturally appropriate for men in their country. They're not wearing a pleated skirt with pearls and a brooch, carrying a purse and or handbag or otherwise. Those men in other countries, again, are wearing what is appropriate for their cultural backgrounds. They are not putting on a woman's skirt. Now, if he would have came out, Taye Diggs, in one of them Indian sarongs or boutons or whatever I'd named on that list, preferably an African, there would have been absolutely nothing wrong with him wearing that. But for him to come out in a pleated skirt, I have that same skirt that Tay Diggs, that same pleated skirt, black. I got one in black and I have one in gray. That exact. If Tay Diggs would have came out with a traditional Scottish kilt on, there would have been not a word said about it. Because that sort of dress is attached culturally to males. That's not a skirt. That's a kilt. A sarong. That's not a skirt. A sarong is for men. But what Tay Diggs had on was a skirt. And fashions in America do feminize men, and especially they try to target. I ain't gonna say it because I know y'all sick of me. But hey. Men do not wear skirts. Not in America. We don't have anything culturally that ties men to wearing skirts or what looks like skirts. If I'm wrong, please help me, teach me so that I'll learn and know differently. I don't mind being wrong. I'm like I said, I'm here to learn too. What I'm expressing are just my opinions at this time, okay? I think the problem with what he had on was the style. Excuse me. Again, if he had a came out in something that was male appropriate, excuse me. As I said, a kilt, sarong, whatever they call it in other countries that men wear that is similar to, I think he would have been perfectly fine. But for him to come out in the same skirt, now, at the same time, pant, back in the day, a pant would have been considered male clothing. So, in that case, if we're just gonna bring it right down to the middle, right down to the road, are wearing pants male clothing for women? Should women not be wearing pants since we think that men should not be wearing, and even biblically it says that men ain't supposed to wear women's clothes and women ain't supposed to wear men's clothes. So where and how do we draw the line to wear what is man and what is woman clothing? Okay. Considering in other cultures, men wear sarongs, wraps, bantus, whatever it was called, Zulus, that for us as American European culture people, consider a skirt female wear, when in fact, again, that dress has been accepted by others in the form of a kilt and all the other things that I named. Are we trying to return to? Because again, back way yonder in the George Washington's all them days, men wore something similar to what was considered a skirt for some time, I think. Please fact check me and tell me in the comments. Let me know. Again, I'm here to learn. I don't know nothing. I'm here to tell you. Like the old folks say, if you think you know everything, you don't know nothing. That's proof that you know nothing. So I don't mind learning. Don't bother me to be wrong. I'd rather be wrong and be corrected than be wrong and stay wrong. So please, if you watch me and um, you know, I would love for you to comment and teach me and tell me. But yeah, because like I said, like as I was saying, lately within the last few 5, 10 years or so, they are starting to fashion make what is, especially in the last couple of 3 years or so, male fashion has turned to skirts. And especially, high fashion, it has gone to wearing skirts and dresses. And it has been adopted. Especially in this young culture, they'll put on anything, child. They will put on anything and be looking as they used to say, a zip damn fool. I am here to tell you. Yes, ma'am, a zip damn fool. Mm-hmm. And I just want to know how do you feel about it? As I said before, the only reason that I am uncomfortable or could be uncomfortable, because really, if that's what he wanted, hey, whatever. It really wouldn't bother me. Just put it on right. Don't be looking like a oh. Just don't be looking like no clown. That's, because like I said, again, I keep repeating myself, other cultures allow for wear similar to this. This is not new. The difference being is that theirs is culturally binding, historically binding. Those are the things that they've grown up doing. They're wearing sarongs and what looks like, and dashikis, and those things look and are similar to dresses, but are not, because I can guarantee you that same wrap that a woman puts on, men in other countries would not be caught dead in those. There are a difference in, and I think it might be the pattern in the fabric or something, to that nature, that distinguishes between male and female dress. I don't care if it is just a straight piece of fabric. There's something about that fabric or that color or something that distinguishes between male and female, because it's not, at least I don't think, the woman takes off this yellow sarong and the man can pick it up and put it on and it's just whatever. No, I don't think that's how it works. It may be in the way that they tie it that makes it, differentiate between the male and female dress of this piece of fabric. that they wear in the manner of what we consider a skirt. I don't know. See, I don't know. But I know that they are free to wear them as they wish. And there is no connotations of what, there's no nothing about their sexuality, and oh, he thinks he's a girl, and oh, she thinks she's a boy, and they wear them because, as I said, it is tied to their culture, their history, and who they are. And there again is no embarrassment, there's no shame, there's no mockery, there's no nothing. So maybe my question is, are the Americas, oh no, not the Americas, is the United States behind in fashion, or maybe they have lost their hair? Well, they really don't have one, because to be honest, if we're gonna just talk about what it is, most white people that came over here were the mongrels of society. They were kicked out of from where they're from. They were not, so they adapted their own cultures and way of life and whatever, and they didn't just really just take over like they say they did. They killed and made people sick and caused them to die. And anyway, but that's not what we're talking about. So have they lost? Well, I think I answered my own question, but because they had. Because back in the colonial days, or whatever it was called, men wore a lot of things that is considered female. Makeup. They wore lots and lots of makeup, powder all over their faces. They wore wigs, ruffles, lace, lip color. They did all of that. Stockings, high heels. That's what men wore back in the colonial or whatever days. And that's easily found in history. Just look at your money. You know, go back and watch Bridgerton, that era. They had on big high wigs and powdered white face and was drawing. Madonna did not start that little mole thing. Men started that, putting that in their faces with all that powder. White men. And they had on their high heels and hosiery and all that. Lace, ruffles. Excuse me. And it did not, and it was not considered a mockery of your sexual orientation. It was just custom. It's what they did back then. Are we returning back to those days? I find, I think it's very interesting, uh, um, because of the facts. That is something that um, Americans, white Americans especially, came from. Powdered face, powdered wigs, high heels, ruffles. Men wore ruffles, wigs, bigger, way bigger, longer, white robes. Um, what we consider skirts. The high heel shoe was invented for men, not women. hmm Yeah. Benjamin Franklin them wore high heel shoes. Yeah, they were invented for men, not women. Interesting, huh? Yeah. So I, like I said, I'm here to learn as well. I think I have so many ideas and I hate to express them and I'm not going to because, people be done took your idea and outdid you, Henny. And that I'm not going to do it. Oh, okay. Okay. No. But I have lots and lots of ideas. And like I said, every day I'm learning and I love to learn. And if I say something and I am wrong, I would love for you to tell me in the comments. Please teach me. I will not be offended. My feelings will not be hurt. If you say, no, Gia, no, Miss Gia, that's not how that goes. Send me some information. Let me know, okay? As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start leaving a phone number that you can text and leave me information and corrections, like things that you would like to talk about and have discussed on our channel. Because like I always say, I can't do this without you. And I love to learn. And I like to learn, you can leave suggestions on what you would like to discuss and we could discuss. And like I said, eventually I'm going to, and actually, you can call this number. I'm going to leave a number that can be called at a certain hour. And like when I'm taping, and that way you can be part of the taping because I'm just not ready for live yet, and I really don't have. I guess it really doesn't matter because I have enough subscribers for me, and I love each and every one of my subscribers, and I appreciate what I wouldn't care if I only had two. I appreciate those two that subscribe to my channel because that means a lot to me. No one has to listen to me, and that's okay. As I said, if I only had two subscribers, that's great. That's two more people than I didn't have before when it was just me. And I really appreciate those of you that have subscribed and those of you that have stopped by, even if you didn't like what I was talking about or me. I thank you just for coming by, and for those that have been with me from the beginning, I really, really appreciate and thank you for doing that, because this is my way of being out because I am a woman of a certain age and I do enjoy conversations and things of that nature, and this gives me a chance to learn things from people from anywhere and all over, so again, I will soon be dropping a number where you can leave me information, and when I am recording, um, I'll drop the number, and if you would like to call and be on with me and we discuss a certain topic, I would love it very, very much. I really would, because I can't have a channel without you. If you don't watch and we don't talk and all that good stuff, there is no channel. So, hey, you guys, I think I've come to the end of my review on Mr. Taye Diggs and him wearing his skirt to the NAACP Image Awards. You guys, please like, comment, subscribe. I'd appreciate it very much. I can't do this without you. Love to my sunflowers and my peach trees and sunflower seeds. I love you guys so very much. I cannot. I can't say it enough. I can't do it without you. So, again, and I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen to me talk stupid. Because I don't know nothing. I'm just talking. But I appreciate you listening to me. And I hope we get to a point to where I get to listen to you and we can share together. I really do. That's my plan, When I learn how to use this stuff and we can call in and we can talk, hopefully we'll be around long enough to do that. And I'm not doing this for no money. I'm doing this for fun and for education and something to do. Thank you again for joining me, you guys. I appreciate it. And as I always say, we got to wash our hands, wear your masks. Flu is going crazy right about now. In our area of the country, it is 10 degrees one day and is 90 degrees the next. And though that sounds silly, that's true. It was just, as a matter of fact, I think day before yesterday, maybe, it was 20 something degrees. Today, no, yeah, day before yesterday. Today, it's 65 degrees. So, we've got to wear your mask, wash your hands. I know it's difficult. One day we're bundled up, the next day we're in shorts, but we've got to take care of each other. We've got to look out because this weather is tearing us up. It really is. And as like I always say, we got to take care of each other. That's just all it is. Get your vax. Eat your cough drops, do your vitamin C, take your vitamins, exercise, watch what you eat. Look, me, and I'm sitting up here fat as I can be, but I've lost a few little pounds. I got a long way to go. I'm working on it still, you guys, Some days are better than others, But anyway, as I always say, again, thank you to my peach trees and sunflower seeds. I love you so very much. As I always say, I am my brother's keeper. I love you. Bye.